Back in 1978, I ran into a fellow record man in San Francisco. He had been to hear a new singer with all the other blues label guys in town. Everybody else passed. But my friend liked him. He signed him and recorded him. He co-wrote songs for him and co-produced an album for Tomato and 2 more for High Tone before landing a deal with Mercury. The first Mercury album was entitled Strong Persuader. The artist was Robert Cray. The album contained such memorable songs as Smokin' Gun and Right Next Door, and it became a platinum album selling more than 1 million units. The LP spent 35 weeks on the R&B album charts. The artist and his music opened eyes and ears. It virtually defined what we know to this day as contemporary blues. To accept the award for Strong Persuader is that co-writer and co-producer, the man who found him, Mr. Bruce Bromberg. No pictures for Bromberg?
I want to say, before I get into my little deal here, is that when I first saw Robert Cray at a NAIRD convention, which was a convention of small labels, Holger was probably there, I don't know. I saw him play, and I said to myself, this is it. This is the guy I've been looking for. And made a record with him that came out on a label I was working for, owned by a crook. And big surprise. And anyway, it did nothing. So surprisingly to me, a couple years went by and nobody signed Robert. And a friend of mine who I knew from when I was working for a label, worked for one of the distributors, he called me up one day and he said, well, my grandfather left me $20,000, let's start a label. I said, burn the money, be easier and less pain. He says, no. And nobody, for some reason, signed Robert Cray. So we got Robert Cray. And we made a record, and it did a little bit. And oddly enough, it got on rock radio. How that happened, I'm not sure, but it did. And ultimately, we got on Mercury, 2 on High Tone, and then 1 made for Mercury. And I have to thank Robert for, Mr. and Mrs. Cray, I should thank, for having an unbelievably talented son who happened to be very good looking, which is good in show business. And I have to thank Dennis Walker, who wrote a lot of great songs for Robert, and the guys in the band who played them and, pretty much did what we asked them to do. I thank myself for writing Smokin' Gun. And so I'm very proud to accept this award for Robert. I guess he couldn't be here, and I'm sure he would appreciate it. And it's an honor. That's all I can say.